Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Dean Blankenship, and I was given the Yow Pine Cone display for my recreation project, stakeholder for which was Dr. Scott. I was tasked with the creation of a pine cone display that would sit in the lounge of the Yow Forestry and Wildlife Building. Dr. Scott and I came up with the idea of mounting the cones to boards that would sit on the bookshelf. The goal of this project was to create a display of pine cones held in collection by the Department of Forest Resources, and this display is located in the lounge of the Yale building to be seen by students, professors, and all visitors to the building. This is a list of specimens that were included in the display. We've got 11 sort of local species that we go over in dendro, and 12 that aren't local aren't that local at all. Included in the non-local species are 4 non-pine cone producing species, that being Sitka spruce, western hemlock, eastern larch, and Douglas fir. There were originally 12 local species, with I was going to include South Florida slash pine, but the cone for that was too similar to regular slash pine, so it was excluded from the project. I started work on this project on September 7th with a run to Lowe's. That day, I also cut the boards to size and applied the first coat of stain. Let's see here. That's an in-process picture of cutting the boards. That's the boards cut, about to be stained. And then this picture on the bottom is the cones with a fresh coat of stain, or the boards with a fresh coat of stain. On September 9th, I applied a second coat of the stain and started creation of the labels for the display. And then on September 14th, I applied the third coat and selected the cone specimens that were going to be mounted. So the picture on the left, that's the second coat. That's the boards with the second coat of stain, third coat, and then that's the cone selection. On September 16th, I started actually mounting the specimens to the boards. This first picture right here was a sanity check to see if my methods would work. And for the most part, they did. I used a probably quarter-inch drill bit to drill in a pilot hole so that when I used the T20 wood screws, it wouldn't damage the boards itself. And for the larger cones, I just used those T20 wood screws to screw the cones directly to the board. For the smaller cones, you can see I had a countersunk 1-inch ceramic magnets and attached the magnets to the cone and to the board using E6000 adhesive. This bottom picture right here was a trial and error using different size countersink bits. The two outer holes are a 1 1/8 inch countersink, which is what I ended up using for the magnets. The one in the middle with the black ring around it was a 1 inch. That would have fit better, but the bit was burning into the wood, so I couldn't use it. On September 21st, I finished the cone mounts and made another supply run to Lowe's so that I could stain the display edges, the display side edges of the boards. So you can see all 6 boards here. Uh, yeah, all six boards just waiting for that final side coat of stain. And then on September 23rd is when I actually did the single coat of stain on the side right here. On September 27th, I finished work on the display by placing the boards on the shelves on the bookcase in the Yao Lounge. And afterwards, I fixed the labels to the cones just using regular Scotch tape. Now, I had to order them somewhat weirdly because of the size of in particular, the sugar pine cone right here. It was just so tall, I could only place it on one side, on the far right side. So the way it goes is from the top, board one, board two, board three, and then on the bottom, board four, board five, and board six. And this was the my budget. The most expensive part, obviously, was the wood. I used 1 inch thick by 8 inch wide by 8 foot long pine boards at roughly $19 a piece for a total cost of just over $56. The stain I used was Minwax semi-transparent walnut stain. I used a 2 inch Valspar stain brush on the main part of the boards for the stain. And then for the edge, or for the display side, I used a small Blue Hawk round brush. The magnets I used were Hillman ceramic 1 inch disc magnets, and I used E6000 industrial adhesive to adhere those magnets both to the board and to the cone. All other supplies, the screws I used, the drill bits, the countersink bits, the drill, etc., were all supplied by the Department of Forest Resources. I feel that overall the project was a great success. I've already had questions from other students concerning some of the cones on display, especially the non-local species. And, I hope that uh, the professors use this as a teaching tool because the magnets, magneted specimens are paired. That way they can be removed and used as a sort of, here, look at this kind of demonstration piece without causing harm to the cone itself. And I uh, that'd be especially helpful with the non-local species to give the students something to look at. As far as future ideas go, uh, during the construction of the display, Dr. Scott made mention of the idea of a future recreation group making a display similar to mine, but for acorns. If you have any questions, please feel free to send an email to rblanky1@stallions.abac.edu, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Furthermore, I would like to thank uh, Doctors Scott and Lane for their help with the project, and Mr. Daniel Lawson for his help with the supply runs.